Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took one trade this morning at the market open. It went to 2R, so it hit my profit target. It was a one and done day. Those are the best kind. And I have everything on video. There were a couple of mistakes on my part, and I'll go over everything and show you exactly what happened. So as always, I start with my screener. Right now I'm using this mid-ish cap screener, and I call it that because mid-caps are typically from $2 billion up to $10 billion market capitalization. Now, if you look at this number of stocks that this screener yields, watch what happens when I change it to the defined 2 to 10 billion. It gives us 1,000 stocks versus 1,500 stocks. So we're getting 50% more stocks that pop up on this screener. Of course, we don't have to look through all those stocks because I start to organize things by volume. The price range is $5 to $100 right now. I kind of play with those numbers, but $5 is always the minimum. So I organize it by volume, and then I just look at the stocks that are gapping up or that are green. So you don't even have to bother with these red stocks, the ones that are showing red. And obviously, if they have a higher percent change, I'm more interested in those. At the open, the only one that really was above 1 or 2% was CERE. There was a couple other stocks that I put on my list that were around 1 or 2%, but they never really went anywhere. So you'll see that right now in the video. So there's CERE. Now, it didn't have a 200 MA line, which is one of my criteria for taking trades or looking for trades, is that the stock must be trading above the 200 MA on the daily chart. So if it doesn't have a 200 MA, I look for just an overall uptrend, meaning that it's putting up higher lows. So here you can see it started at $9, and now the lows are around $12. So if you drew a trend line from there to there, obviously it would be pointing up. So it meets that criteria. And then now I have to mark out the previous day or session high, which in this case is the pre-market 23.20. I need to see the price break out above that level before I can look for an entry. So in the meantime, I'm checking out other stocks off of the screener. So WKHS Workhorse was on the screener, but it did not meet my daily chart criteria. It was trading below the 200 MA, so I immediately replaced it. Then SWN, this was kind of weird. It met my daily chart criteria. You can see it's in an overall uptrend. But if you look at the past like 3 days or so, it's trending down. So I wasn't that excited about that stock. So I marked out a previous high from like 2 days ago just to kind of make it kind of prove itself a little bit more before I take an entry on it. And US Steel, that's another one that it's kind of weird because it doesn't move that much. So I was considering, if I took an entry here and then this thing still broke out, I would probably still take an entry on CERE because this one actually had the possibility of giving you a fairly decent return percent-wise versus the US Steel, because these candles were at the most like a 10-cent range, and here you had some candles that were like close to $1 in range. TLRY was running, but it never broke out through its previous day high. So now we're just waiting for CERE to break out. There it goes. So now once that happens, fast forward a little bit, now I'm waiting for the pullback, which is pulling back on that candle, and then another one. So I need now to see a 1 minute candle make a new high, and that will trigger my entry. All right, so this happened really quickly. Let me show you this in real time. The high of this candle, I believe, is 22.98 or 97. So I need to see 22.98 on this price bubble on the next candle that's about to pop up or higher in order to trigger my hotkeys. So let's watch this in real time. So I was a little slow. My reaction was a little bit slow today. So there's $23.93. Okay, there's $23, and then I finally figured out what happened. You saw I might trigger my hotkeys there in real time, and my position ended up being $22.79 because we'll watch for that one more time. It popped up and then pulled back down really quickly. So here's the pop up, and then as soon as I trigger my hotkeys, it's already popping back down. So I got filled at about 20 cents lower than where I wanted to, which some people might think that's a good thing. You got in cheaper. But my strategy is to set my profit target at 2 times my risk. So if I got filled 20 cents cheaper, that means I leave 40 cents per share on the table as far as my profit target. So it's not really a good thing for me. Unless you get lucky and say it would not have hit your would-be profit target, but it does hit your profit target because you got in lower, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's see what happened with that trade. Even though I got in cheaper, it doesn't have to hit my profit target. Of course, it could still stop me out. So here I am. Now, once I'm in the trade, I'm just going to focus on that stock. So this is only like a minute and a half or... yeah, about a minute in right now. And you can see it's already kind of teasing my target there. And I realized I entered the stop. So I had to correct that, and then that moved my target up to 23.79. And you see it hit 23.75. Again, if I was just starting out, I probably would not be able to wait, and I would pull that down and leave even more money on the table, which is never a good thing, because then let's say your next trade stops you out, then you're probably going to be in the red or very close to the red after those 2 trades. But if you let your profit target get hit, which is set at 2 times your risk, then you take a loss on the next trade, which is 1 times your risk. You still have a 1 times your risk profit. So we can just watch it play out. This was a pretty quick trade. There it goes to 23.79, so it hits my target. So you might be asking, well, what was your target if you got your proper entry? So this is my proper entry, the ideal entry, 22.98, and my stop loss is the same. And then my target was 24.36. So quite a big difference there, because this would yield $1.40 per share of a profit, and this actual trade that I was in was $1 per share. So big difference. But did it hit the actual or the ideal entry profit target? Let's take a look at the chart. So I marked it out right back here, 22.98. That was the best entry that I could have gotten, and I got 22.70 something, 78. And this was my stop loss. So that's 1R right there. So my profit target would be 2 times that. And you could see that it got hit not that much later. I was out of the trade here at 9:45, and it hit the would-be profit target at 9:51. Pretty easily, too. It didn't just hit it, and come back down. It went all the way up to 24.98. So it definitely would have been hit, and it would have been a successful trade no matter what. So that just shows you that, the plan worked in that case, even though I didn't work that well because I got filled a little bit lower. So that's that. And we can take a look at where it is now if you're just curious. So it's continuing higher. So it's definitely the right stock to be watching, that's for sure. So the screener criteria worked out really well. The previous day high was a sign of strength, as it should be. It doesn't always have to be, and that's why I use a stop loss. So that's why I use that criteria. And let's take a look at the spreadsheet, and then we'll be done with the video. So here we are today. Was 100% win rate because there was only one trade and it worked out. And that brings the average win rate of at least of these days to 46.88%. The break even is 33%. And the average of the actual number of trades, right here, we have 8 wins out of 23 trades. So we're a little bit closer to break even there, but we were under break even a few days ago. So we're heading in the right direction. And if we exclude all of the error trades, so there's about 4 error trades on this chart. They're outlined in blue and red. If you exclude those trades, then we have a 44% win rate. The average of those two numbers is 39%. That's just the average of those two. And then if I just calculate my win rate after taking only 3 trades, now this includes the error trades, but it doesn't include trade 4 and 5 and 6, and that's significant because right now I'm only taking a max of 3 trades. I adjusted that a couple days ago. So at the win rate, if I only take 3 trades, is 47%, which is considerably high when you consider that 33% is break even. So far the plan is looking pretty promising, and it's not costing us anything, even though we're only trading 1 share. Where it's cost us 10 cents so far, so not a big deal at all. So very cheap to test, trade with real money. You don't have to paper trade. You could just trade 1 share, trade with real money, get the feel for trading with real money, and also the execution of real money. So the trades will execute differently in paper trading than they do with real money. So this is much more like trading with your full position size, but without risking a lot of money. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this trade or this plan or the spreadsheet or anything, and I'll get back to you in the comment section. As always, go into every single trade with a plan. Stick to the plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.